Hi guys, welcome to The Full Color Life, and I'm with my friend Salisia, and she's going to tell you about her new and upcoming event. I'm so pumped.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem.
My name is Salisia Weber, and I am the owner and executive event planner for Allure Events and Design. I started my company because I wanted to have a platform to be able to give back to the community. So I work with several nonprofit organizations in Chicago, and I host fundraisers for them.
And the recent fundraiser that you're doing is a fashion show, right?
Exactly. Yes, it's a fashion show. It's January 19th, 2018, and it's going to be held at Loft on Lake, 1366 West Lake Street. So just to give you a background about the fashion show, the first one that we did for Traffic Free was last year, and we always do it in the month of January because that's Human Trafficking Awareness Month.
Yes.
And that's our way of giving back to not only Traffic Free but the community. Laura, who's the executive director of Traffic Free, I know she's always just working so hard to, work with the drop-in center, the victims and the survivors that come to the drop-in center. So I wanted to do something to give back to her and her team. So although this will be a night of fun and we'll have a great time and we'll see a lot of great fashions from local Chicago boutiques and designers, it will also be a time for Traffic Free to get catered to a little bit. My background is in fashion design because I graduated with my undergrad from the Illinois Institute of Art, and my major was fashion design. So upon graduating, I thought for sure I was just going to go directly into like the fashion in New York. I went to New York for a interview. I was young. I was in my early 20s. I'm still young, but I was really young.
Yeah, that's right.
I went for the interview, and at that time I just thought it was a bit too much for me. So I ended up coming back to the Midwest, and I got my first design job at Land's End in Wisconsin, and I started designing shoes. And
Land's End shoes.
Yep. It's a demanding job, but it's fun because if that's your passion. So we use Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop to design the shoes. So you might sketch the shoe out by hand and then scan it in and just really like do more of the layout and more of the design in Illustrator and Photoshop. That was like really fun. And with clothing, you actually design the clothing, and then I will work with the technical designers to do the tech packs. And the tech packs is what we send to the factories to say, this is how we want this garment to be made. I can still do fashion shows and bring my knowledge to the nonprofit sector of the world.
Yeah, because where you started, it's like the design, like the detail part.
Exactly.
You know, it's like
there's a lot of women that want to model and they want to be on the runway, and they're beautiful women, and they come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, but sometimes they can get taken advantage of, and they can end up in the life of human trafficking with their innocent desire to be a model. So when I am casting models to be in the Allure fashion show, I'm very cautious with how I treat them, and I also use that as an opportunity to mentor them. To help them. If you want to be a model, you don't have to do all of these crazy things in order to be a model. For example, during our first Allure fashion show for Traffic Free, I was dealing with the topic of human trafficking, and I found out that one of the girls almost got trafficked. She didn't live in Chicago. She was coming from a different state, and she was trying to go to all the casting calls for models. By the time I met her, she had just escaped a human trafficking situation, but thank God she didn't get completely caught up in it. But they were pretending to cast her, and once she got to Chicago, they were saying, we're going to pay you $5,000. It was at a hotel. So while I'm preparing, there's a lot of work preparing for the show.
Right.
While I'm preparing for the show, I'm also mentoring the models to show them what to look out for.
Right, that's a normal amount sometimes.
Sometimes that's a normal amount, but how you know it's possibly fake if they say, send me nudes, I'm gonna give you $5,000 when you get here. Most of the time that's bait. With the legit modeling firms, I used to work with Ford Modeling Agency when I was a buyer, and they don't do things like that. They don't say, send me this and I'll give you $5,000. That right there is probably a red flag that a young lady or a young man would want to look out for. I really stand behind Traffic Free because I started with them as a volunteer. Fashion is like the glitz and the glam. Everyone wants to be like a part of fashion. Everyone is like, you know, a fashionista. We all go shopping, whether we do it online or in stores. And I've been on both sides of that business. I've been on the design side, I've been on the buying side, I've been on the marketing side. So in my career, I've kind of had a full circle. You can use fashion because you can empower women, you know, the models, you know, that want to, you know, work on the runway. I never discriminate against size, color, or anything like that. If you want to be a model, even if you've never modeled before, but you've always dreamed about it. Because I'm short and I used to dream about it. you know the feeling. So there's girls that are like, I'm only 5'2" and I want to model in the show. I said, come on.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Good. For all the 5'2"ers out there, me included.
I'm like, let's do this.
Let's not discriminate.
Exactly. So that gives them, and then it's also really fun. I woke up the other day to a text message. Oh my God, Salisia, my friend is being trafficked. I need your help. What should they do? And I need to be able to give them the 1-800 number. I need to be able to put them in touch with Traffic Free to be able to give them a place to stay at the drop-in center. So I'm here for all of that, even if it's not just about fashion.
Well, because what this event wants to talk about and bring awareness to, we don't know this, but there is so much trafficking that happens just here in Chicago alone. Exactly. And we just don't realize how big this problem is still, and we need to keep talking about it, and that's what you are here for. And you're saying, hey, I'm available, and hit me up in my DMs on Instagram.
Please do. And this subject is so important to me. People often ask me, how did you get involved in anti-human trafficking? Sometimes people will ask me, were you trafficked? Thank God I was not, and because I was not, I need to be able to help other people out. And once I started volunteering with Traffic Free and learning about how detrimental this is, and bringing the awareness and how this is affecting us here in Chicago, I knew then that I needed to do something. So I started pulling together all of my resources in fashion, in event planning, all of my networks.
And it came together.
And it came together. For example, I volunteer with another organization called A Boy and His Dream, and they are on the preventive side of human trafficking. Their story is, if I can get kids more involved at a younger age and give them the attention they need, give them the help they need with homework, things like that, then we can prevent them from connecting with predators. Well, the head person, the founder of that organization, also models and also is an actor.
No way.
So he's going to be one of the he's volunteering his time for the...
Oh my gosh, that's such a cool story. I love it.
So when he signed up to be a model, I said, Sonny, can you get me some more professional? And he's a professional model. I said, can you give me more? I started with one male model, and I'm up to 12 now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they all want to give back. All of the models are like so happy to be able to give back to the community and to be able to talk about what this subject that we're all so passionate about. If we could just save one man, one young woman, one kid. If you do the research about human trafficking, you'll see that the ideal age is so young. At the age we were playing with Barbie dolls and Transformer, and also with social media, I would just ask parents to be so careful, so aware. Know who's in your kids' DMs. Know who's contacting your children. There's a lot of trafficking that happen through social media, and even as adults, just be cognizant of what you're sharing, how you're sharing it, and
how you're presenting yourself too, because that's another big thing in fashion. It's how are you presenting yourself to the world? Are you presenting yourself in a way that people can take advantage of, or are you presenting yourself in a way that's going to carry yourself and say, hey, I'm a professional, this is who I am, and you protect yourself.
Exactly.
You know?
I 100% agree.
Well, thanks so much for chatting. Pass it on. We need to be aware of what's going on with human trafficking in the city of Chicago and the world, and be aware of your purchases and fashion, and get involved. Yes. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching The Full Color of Life, and join me next time.
Thank you.